Wow, you guys, the Mario Collection, the Mario 35th Anniversary Celebration, the Mario Nintendo Direct that we've been hearing about all year has finally happened. It was real. A lot of the things that a lot of people, myself included, had been hearing both publicly and behind the scenes turned out to be true. And I won't lie, I was getting nervous, even with the rumors heading into this week and some of the things I was hearing that really made me want to believe it. And I really was believing it. I was also getting nervous, man. It's been a crazy journey in 2020 to get here, but we're finally here, and it turns out these games are real. So this is obviously very, very exciting and a huge deal. This is massive news, man. Oh my god, it feels so good. Can I just tell you guys, both as a Nintendo fan who's been struggling for stuff to play on my Nintendo Switch in 2020, and as a YouTuber who covers and primarily talks about Nintendo, it feels so good to finally have this stuff out. It feels like a huge relief, right? And like I said, there's so many reasons why this feels good. Most importantly is just the fact that these are amazing games that we get to play again on our Nintendo Switch, okay? So as gaming content, I think that's where it's the most important. But also, you know, right behind that, for myself, it just feels good to know that, you know, not only these rumors were true, but as I said, things that I had heard behind the scenes from people I know and trust who've believed this for a long time, it turns out that they were right, and this whole time, this thing was real. And it just is good to know that it's finally out there in the world. And, you know, it is crazy because, like I said, for a while I was getting nervous. I was like, maybe these things just aren't real. Maybe they're not coming. And Nintendo was like, nope, you just hold on to your horses because we have a bunch of Mario stuff to show you. And it's like, man, thank you so much for finally getting this stuff out there. Very, very nutty when you chart back what the rumors had said ever since, I want to say, February or March or so when they first got out there. And it was like, hey, at E3, Nintendo wants to do this Mario celebration thing, and they're going to also reveal this collection of these old games. But since E3 is not going to happen, we don't know what's going on with those. And so, you know, most of us in the internet and the community have just been believing this on good faith for a long time. You know, like I said, whether it was in public or behind the scenes, at least for myself, I'm going to tell you, for me, it was good faith the whole year. And now that they're real, it's just like, wow, I guess we have some stuff to play on our Switch finally. I think that what's really cool about this is there were actually some big surprises and some additional details and things and releases, all Mario related, that really were never a part of the rumors. I mean, the rumors themselves focused specifically on 4 games. Super Mario 3D World, which we all saw coming a mile away for the past 2 years anyway. And then, of course, the re-releases or remasters or remakes, whatever they were going to be, of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. But the cool surprise is that this Nintendo Direct Mario presentation turned out to be about 16 minutes long and featured a lot of extra stuff. This is not the only Mario content that Nintendo has been cooking up this whole time, and that is really, really exciting. They featured some pretty cool things, like a new Game & Watch console is coming out, an actual retro Game & Watch is coming out that's Super Mario themed and allows you to play the NES Super Mario Brothers, and then the NES Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan that never released in the States until it was called The Lost Levels way later, and then some other Mario ball tossing thing that I've seen before but I've never actually played. And so that's kind of cool. That's mostly a collectible kind of thing for me, and I don't really know if I'm going to want to get it myself, but I think it's really neat that it exists. They're doing a bunch of like Mario events, and there's a bunch of like Mario prizes and toys and things coming out throughout the year, and that stuff is fine. There's as far as games, there's a Super Mario Bros. 35 weird battle royale kind of online thing. I think it looks kind of kitschy and cute, but I'm gonna be real, it's just not interesting to me. I don't think I will ever turn it on even one time. So I'm sure it's gonna be cool, do not get me wrong, but it's just not a game for me. Something really neat that they're doing is a Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, the old school collection of Super Mario Bros. Game from the Super Nintendo, but they're actually basically remastering even this. It's weird. It's like a 2D remaster. You don't see this very often, if ever. And so all 4 of the games featured on Super Mario Bros. All-Stars are getting like an updated visual and sound kind of remake. And I think that is really exciting. I am very, very excited to see what these games feel like with these new graphics and new sound. Although I have to admit, it's going to be kind of weird playing these games that I know so well for decades and having them look and sound different. It's like exciting on one hand and also might be strange on the other. And then they came out of nowhere with this crazio Mario Kart home circuit. It's called Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which is like a little Mario Kart toy with a camera on it that you can run around your own space wherever you are, inside, outside, living room, bathroom, kitchen, whatever you want. And on your Switch, you can play basically like an AR version of a Mario Kart game. And I gotta tell you guys, the first like 30 seconds this thing was starting, I was like, this is dumb. It's just another toy thing. I don't really care about this stuff. You know, it's cool, but it's not for me. But I'm gonna be real with you. As it went on, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of badass. It's really, really neat what they're doing with the technology and to make it into a Nintendo Switch game. And it looks like they have these little, like lap circuit kind of, I don't know what you would call it. Just like a lap marker, you know? It's like a little arched thing, and you can set those throughout the room. And the way that the trailer made it look, it's like as you drive through them, the AR part to the camera is able to sense that you're crossing a lap, and maybe it's collecting your time or something. I was like, this is really, really neat. It is, you're going to laugh at me when I say this, it is something I also know I'm not going to buy because I just don't want to have it and clutter my house, and I know that I'll never use it, but I do think it's really awesome, and maybe if I had kids, I would be all into it. But, yeah, I don't know. What a crazy surprise. At first, I was like, are they bringing Mario Kart Tour to the Switch? Like, that's a weird call to make. And then it turned out to be this, which is totally different, and in my opinion, way cooler. But beyond all that, we know what we were really looking for. We know what we came here to this video for. And it's those 4 big titles that I already talked about that really started this entire rumor and this entire conversation about a Mario 35th anniversary celebration, and Nintendo is barely squeezing this in like the last almost quarter of the year. It's very funny how this all happened, but you know, the pandemic obviously affected most of this, and at this point, all you can do is just accept the reality of that, as frustrating as some of it may have been. But now that we're here and these things are real, it's very exciting. So, hey, all of this stuff was true. Super Mario 3D World is coming to the Switch, as is an HD remaster of Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. Now, the Mario 3D World thing is interesting because it's also Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, okay? So they basically gave us a trailer that was like a remix of the original Wii U trailer for the game. And, you know, full disclosure, Mario 3D World is a very, very, very good game. I like it, I beat it, I played it all the way, I thought it was really imaginative and it was a ton of fun. However, it's definitely not my favorite Mario game. In fact, it's honestly fairly low on my list of Mario games. When I made my top 10 all-time Mario games, it didn't even make my list. It didn't even make my top 10. So I'm not trying to disparage it. If you're one of the people who never bought a Wii U and never played it, I would say it's absolutely worth playing. It's at least that fun. Even though it's like another Wii U port, and obviously that situation is getting out of control. There's 2 Wii U ports coming out between September and the end of the year. It's insane with these games. And actually, I'm sorry, a Mario 3D World is not coming out this year. It's actually coming out in February of 2021. So it's one of the few things announced today that actually isn't in 2020. And that's okay. There's an early in the year Wii U port. Nintendo's been doing that for, you know, pretty much the life of the Switch, and so that makes sense. And, you know, it's just that game that, like I said, I think is really, really good, but not my favorite. And then this Bowser's Fury thing that they teased at the end. And honestly, like, we don't really know what it is. There's no hint or anything, and as far as I could see from any of the press releases, Nintendo plans on detailing it later. I'm guessing that might be because they want to wait until the other Mario games make it out into the market first, and then sometime after those release, they're going to talk about what the Bowser's Fury thing is. And for me, before I even consider if I'm going to buy 3D Mario or Mario 3D World on the Switch, I think I definitely want to see what the Bowser's Fury thing really is. If it's only a small addition of some, you know, minor content, I'm not going to be interested. If it's something very significant and very cool looking, and it's not like a goofy multiplayer thing, you know, at least beyond the main game itself already being multiplayer. If it's not, I mean, if it's not like some kind of multiplayer thing that's different than the normal game, and maybe that can't be played as a single player adventure, and they force some kind of weird gimmick into it, if it's none of that stuff and just a really great, sizable chunk of extra content that I've never played, I'm probably going to want to buy it. So it's really going to depend on what Bowser's Fury turns out to be. And you know, I'll be honest, I kind of think it is going to be that. Believe it or not, I actually have faith this is going to be something really cool and something that will make me want to buy the game. But we got to wait and see what Nintendo tells us about it. And so, beyond that, then we get to the good, at least in my opinion, the real goods. And it is the 3D All-Stars Collection, which has been a name that's been getting out there throughout the year, almost as a joke, or people just kind of guessing, oh, maybe they would call it a 3D All-Stars, just like the classic All-Stars. And yeah, it turns out that that's exactly what Nintendo called it. It's the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And it's Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. And you guys, I am so excited. It's more not new games for the Switch in 2020, and yes, that is incredibly frustrating from that one angle, but I think that because this, charts all the way back to the very beginning of the year, this rumor, before we knew how bad things were going to get because of the pandemic and stuff, it's like, I almost kind of am letting my excitement for this be associated with, like, the March version of myself, right? Like, past Rob would have been over the moon for this before the pandemic changed the year, so it's like, I'm excited. So there's a couple of things going on here that we have to talk about. First, of course, is the fact that really these are redone and remastered in HD only. As far as we know and as far as they talked about, that's all they've done. It doesn't seem like they remade them. It doesn't seem like they updated any lighting or any textures, especially on a game like Mario 64. They are the same games, just put into HD. And that is fine for me. I've talked about all year, if these games are real, in what condition are we going to see them? How much effort is Nintendo putting into them? How updated are they going to be? Are they going to be releasing separate? Are they going to be releasing as a collection? Physical only? Digital only? Combination of the two? What are they doing? And so now we see that they are redone in HD only, and it's hard for me to be upset about that. Would it have been amazing if these were redone like crazy and remade like crazy? Absolutely, it would have been. But honestly, it's just cool to have these games, and I feel like they're going to control pretty darned well, because that's one of the big issues, I think, when I think about a game not being remade that's as old as something like 64, is how awkward and dated and clunky to control is it going to feel. But something tells me it's going to run buttery smooth and be a joy to play. The Star Wars Pod Racer game that came out earlier this year, that is kind of the template that I'm going by, because that game, I cannot believe how much better it runs and plays and controls compared to back on the 64 and Dreamcast when it came out. So it's like there's some sort of trick that they can do with Nintendo 64 emulation that just makes the game feel incredibly modern. And if they can do that for, like, a third-party licensed game like a Star Wars game, you know that Nintendo can do it with their flagship Mario title for the 64 console. So I'm totally okay with that. I'm so jazzed to be able to play Super Mario Sunshine again. I mean, I own it on my GameCube, but I'm really excited to see what they've done with this, because I'm sure that they've tweaked the controls. That's always been the biggest issue with that game, is the control. And Nintendo didn't comment on it, but it definitely seems like they're going to probably do something to it in that respect. And then you get Mario Galaxy, and man, it looks beautiful. It's my favorite Mario game of all time. It is going to be perfect for the Nintendo Switch and for portable play and all this good stuff. It's going to be amazing. And for anyone out there, because, a lot of people younger than me now are gaming. It's been so long since this game came out. I'm sure a lot of really young people have never even played this game. And you are in for a treat. This game, to me, squashes Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey isn't even a blip on the radar compared to Galaxy. I know that might be a controversial statement to some, but I stand by it, man. Mario Odyssey is a very, very good game. Like, I enjoyed it. It's fine. It's a good time. It's a solid Mario game. But it is not even in the same league as Super Mario Galaxy, y'all. I am so, so excited to play this game myself. I'm excited for people to play it potentially for the first time. And it's another one, where it's like, yeah, I own the game already on the Wii, just like I own Sunshine on the GameCube, but I'm excited to replay it. And it does look like they updated the visuals big time beyond just HD. I think they might have updated some lighting and stuff. So, and they also showed, as cool as this is, they showed someone holding a Joy-Con and doing the little star pointer thing. I was wondering about that. So they are emulating the Wii motion controls with Galaxy, which is so super cool. Very curious to see how they make that work in handheld, in portable mode. I don't really know what they're going to do with Mario Galaxy there, and I did see a little bit of a blurb of somebody who maybe feels like they read something on the eShop that you can only play with Joy-Cons and you can't use a Pro controller, which would mean you wouldn't be able to play it in portable either. I don't think that's confirmed. I barely saw a tweet about that before I got on to record this, and so I don't know the details yet. Maybe by the time this video goes up in another hour or so, everyone already knows the answers to that. But right now, I want to believe that Nintendo won't do that. And I just think it's great that at bare minimum, we know we can use Joy-Cons to play old school. That is really, really awesome. So, yeah. Oh, and then of course, I have to mention that these are coming on September 18th. So they are only like 2 weeks away. That is so freaking cool. But as awesome as it is that these are coming out very, very soon, there's a weird detail around these, and I don't really understand what Nintendo's doing here. They're making it sound like this is a completely limited thing. They're like, it's a limited physical and digital release, and it's available between September 18th this year and March 31st, 2021, which is the end of their fiscal year. And so, there you go. This is something, yeah, it says, you know, a limited production of Super Mario 3D All-Stars launches exclusively for the Nintendo Switch family of systems on September 18th and will be available until approximately March 31st, 2021. That makes it sound like it's physical and digital. That is weird. That is very, very strange. I don't know what the purpose of that is, and so we're going to have to wait and see and understand Nintendo's game plan there. But it's a very strange choice. I've never heard of this for something like this. This is a high caliber release. Why stop making it after a certain period of time? I don't know. I don't understand it, and I kind of don't really like it. So, at the end of the day, where does this leave us? Where do we find ourselves now that these Mario games are real and this direct thing happened and we saw all of this Mario content? Well, you know, obviously we're in a better place than before it happened, right? It's exciting to see all of this stuff. It's exciting, and like I said, for me, it's a huge relief to finally have this stuff real and confirmed and out there to the world. And, you know, we also have some great games to play in 2020 on the Switch before the year is over. So, you know, bare minimum, it at least gave us this 3D All-Stars collection that's releasing this year, this current month. So we've got, you know, some games to play on the Switch before Pikmin 3 comes out in October. And then, you know, having some of the other stuff for the future and the Game & Watch thing and some of the toys and all that, it's all very neat, and it is definitely exciting. But for me, I'm also still left in a place of like, okay, so it's just more old games. These are amazing games. I'm excited for them. Like I said, I'm excited for them now like I would be if they were announced like back in March when the rumors first got out there, before we knew what the pandemic was going to do. So they do exist in that one kind of weird bubble in time. But when you look at it realistically and practically from where we are right now in early September, where the only games we know we can play on our Switch from Nintendo between now and the rest of the year are now 4 old games. You know, if we're looking at the main releases here, not some of the weird stuff for the Nintendo Switch Online, it's 4 main games. It's Pikmin 3 Deluxe, a last-gen port, and then it's Mario 64, a very old game, Super Mario Sunshine, a very old game, Galaxy, basically a very old game. Those are 4 incredible games. 4 of the best games ever made, in my opinion. However, and yes, I mean that for even Mario Sunshine, you haters. That's a great game. Stop being crazy. But it's still old games. And so in a year where, and I know the pandemic, man, again, I get the pandemic. You've heard me all year talk about understanding the pandemic affecting things. But it's like, you know, Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and Pikmin 3 and these 3 new Mario games, and even going right into early 2021, Mario 3D World is another old game and another last-gen port. So even the first thing we know about in 2021 is another old game and another Wii U port. So it's just, you know, I'm torn in that one respect. Like, I'm all about reliving a couple of old games, you know, from any franchise on any console every once in a while. Whether you remaster, you re-release, or you remake, it's like, that's cool. Like, you know, again, Zelda Link's Awakening was awesome. It was so cool that they did something like that, you know. The Resident Evil remakes, to me, are amazing. Shadow of the Colossus was fantastic. So, like, I'm into this stuff, but, like, man, 2020 is old games. They literally have made 2 brand new games, okay? They made Paper Mario, and they made Animal Crossing. And as great and huge as those games may be, that's all for Nintendo in 2020. Everything else has been re-releases of their old games. And I'm not counting the 51 board games Clubhouse thing also, because yes, Nintendo published that, but those games have been around for centuries. You know, for decades and centuries. They have nothing to do with Nintendo. They're just digital versions of board games that already existed with no help from Nintendo until that release. So that's not like a Nintendo property. It's not the same thing. I mean, we're talking about, you know, their IP, which is like Animal Crossing and Paper Mario. And, so, you know, it's tough to be conflicted where you're like, on one hand, I'm so excited for these Mario games because they're amazing and I haven't played them in so long. And I'm excited to try them with HD graphics. And then on the other hand, you're also like, yeah, but it's just more old games. Like, where's the new stuff? Where's a new Mario game? You know, where's Breath of the Wild 2? Where's, you know, an F-Zero surprise? Bring back, you know, all these, give us Pikmin 4 instead of Pikmin 3. All the things that we've been talking about all year. So I guess I'm just left in like a confused but still excited space, because these are the games that I've wanted ever since the rumors first got out there. And these are the games that, even though they're a collection of older games I've already played and I already own, I did want them. I was excited. I was willing to let myself say, okay, I don't really get into too many ports and I haven't bought any Wii U games and it's just all whatever. But like these Mario games, these I'm gonna want because they're so cool. And that is still true. So I still want these. I'm gonna buy this collection in 2 weeks. I am super, super jazzed. But it still falls under the category of disappointment just because it's more old games. And it's really a shame that they couldn't have brought with them anything significantly new. You know, things like the Game & Watch thing and the Mario All-Stars on the online and all that stuff, like, those are cool. The Mario 35, you know, Battle Royale thing, like, that's neat. But it's not significant, real, new $60 retail experience kinds of games. It's not a new Mario game. There isn't a single new Mario game here. There's new content being added to Mario 3D World, which we don't even yet know, but that's it. So anyway, I don't want to end this on the negative note, because truly, I promise you guys, this is more exciting than anything, and I am very excited and jazzed, like I said, but I don't know. It's interesting when we kind of dissect 2020 and we realize this is the next step. The next thing we find out about is more old games. And it's like, I wonder if Nintendo is going to have anything else that's actually quantifiably new to release before 2020 is over. Either way, this is what's happening. This is today's news. The Mario 35th celebration was real, and so are the Mario 3D All-Stars Collection games. This is crazy news. Despite some of the unfortunate sides, this is still very exciting, like I said. So you've heard my thoughts and opinions, so I want to hear you guys discuss my thoughts and opinions and my breakdown. And then I want to hear how you feel. Are you excited? Are you not excited? Have you played these? Have you not played these? How do you feel about the rest of Nintendo's 2020 with today's announcements? All that good stuff, talk about it below. And with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of 2 Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.